Hello guys! Sorry for the lack of videos for the past 2 weeks, but I just got back from Paris. And it was an amazing trip. I went with my family, and we had so much fun and ate really good food and saw all the awesome sights. And one of the things that we saw while we were in Paris was the Mona Lisa. So I thought it would be appropriate for me to do a video on who was the Mona Lisa. For those of you who don't know what the Mona Lisa is, which is probably no one because apparently it's the most famous artwork in the world, it is a half-length portrait by artist Leonardo da Vinci. It was painted between 1503 and 1506, and it is an oil painting on poplar panel. Most of you guys probably know who Leonardo da Vinci is. Some of his other works include The Last Supper and The Vitruvian Man. So the Mona Lisa was acquired by King Francis I of France, and now it is the property of France. And it is on display in Paris at the Louvre. The Louvre is an awesome art museum that we went to, obviously if we saw the Mona Lisa, and it's in Paris, and actually our hotel was like right next to it, so we went a few times because we were so close. And I mean, it gets really crowded because everybody wants to go see all the stuff, especially the Mona Lisa. But it was really fun and really cool. So when we went, the first day we went to the Louvre, we heard that it gets really crazy at the Mona Lisa, so we're like, alright, let's just like run to the Mona Lisa and then not look at anything else and see her, and then after that we can like roam around and look at other art and stuff. So it was like there are like signs for it everywhere. Everything's in French too, but so there's signs for it, like, all going down, like, pointing where to go. So we're, like, going down all these hallways, and it's like, okay, go this way, and it's just, like, really complicated to get to it, and you're just, like, going for so long, and you're like, this is, like, really making it more dramatic, because it's, like, we have to keep going and going and going. So finally we get there. Huge crowd of people. Everyone's taking pictures, like, literally everyone with their cameras, like, trying to take pictures, and so my sister and I are like, alright, like, let's get up to the front. We want to get to the very front so we can take as close a picture as we can. And mind you, the front, there's like a giant barricade thing. And then there's like a couple feet after that, and then the Mona Lisa's on a wall by herself, completely, in like this giant, like, bulletproof glass thing. So you're like, you can't even really get that close to it, which is like crazy and makes it even more like fun because it's so protected. But so anyway, Camille and I, my sister, we like worked our way up to like kind of the front, but we would just like wait till people were done because we didn't want to like push people because it's art. Like, we're at an art museum, we're not at a concert. So we like waited, and then like the first people who were in the front like left, and then we waited a little bit longer, and the next people left, and finally we got to the very, very front. And people were taking selfies with it, which I think is kind of lame. But we did not take a selfie, we just took some regular pictures. So that was really cool, and I mean, it's crazy that, like, there's that much fuss over, like, this. It's pretty small, too. Everyone always says, like, oh, no, this is really small when you actually see it, and I mean, it is pretty small, but, I don't know, it's crazy that there's that much fuss over this one painting, but it was really cool to see the Mona Lisa, like, in the flesh. Like, that was neat, and especially because it's so famous, and, I mean, I saw the real thing, so, like, it was really fun and really cool. But so, the reason why it's so protected now, well, besides the fact that it's super, super famous and, like, priceless, is that in 1911 it was stolen by a Louvre employee who was Italian, and he felt like it should be displayed in Italy. So he took it. I have no idea how. Maybe it was less security back then. But so he took it, and he had it in his apartment for 2 years before he got caught trying to sell it to a gallery in Florence, which is like kind of stupid. Like, you have this famous painting and you're trying to sell it, obviously they're going to catch you. And then in the late 1950s, it was subject to a couple of like vandalism attempts, which I think did damage it a little. So to avoid that, they put it in the giant bulletproof glass thing, and it's very well looked after and secure. Even with like the thousands and thousands and thousands of people that see it all the time. So yeah, like I said, it's considered priceless, but if you were going to put a number on it, it would be worth over $700 million. Crazy. For like one painting from way back when. And the craziest part about it is that we didn't even know who Mona Lisa was until like 10 years ago. And it's like, it's not like it's like this painting of this famous woman. It's just this woman, Mona Lisa, who I'm going to tell you about. But it's crazy that it's that famous and that worth that much. And it's just a painting of this woman. Who is the mysterious woman in the Mona Lisa? Well, like I said, we didn't actually know until 2005. Only 10 years ago. We've only known who Mona Lisa is for 10 years. But we now know her to be Lisa Gherardini del Giocondo. I think I said that right. It's Italian. Okay. Although experts had believed that it was her for a while, it wasn't proven until an expert at the University Library of Heidelberg discovered a note in the margin of a record book that revealed the possible identity. The note said that Leonardo da Vinci had done a painting of Lisa Gherardini during the time of the painting's creation. So, who is this famous Lisa? She was born in 1779 in Florence, so there wasn't really any record of her life or her death or anything until this woman, Dianne Hales, decided that she was going to investigate who the Mona Lisa actually was. She wrote a book called Mona Lisa, Life Discovered. So if you guys, I'm not going to get too far into her life, but if you guys are interested, you should definitely check out that book. Doing all this research is kind of making me want to read it, so I might read it too. Lisa was married off at the young age of 15 to Francesco del Giocondo. I'm so bad at all these names, I'm sorry. He was a wealthy silk merchant, twice her age. So her father, since he had fallen on hard times, was unable to prepare a dowry for her at her birth, which is a big deal because that is how women were married off at the time, and if they didn't have a dowry, it was really, really hard for them, and they would have to most likely go into a convent. Lisa's looks were her best shot at getting a husband. Kind of sad. Times were so different back then. Something in her sparked Francesco's desire, so he pursued her and struck a deal with her father. He would marry the young woman in exchange for a piece of the Gherardini land. So yeah, if you want to know more about her actual life, check out the book. But she had 6 kids and died at the age of 63. Towards the end of Lisa's life, she became very devoted to God and moved to a convent in Florence. So that is where she is buried, and they opened the tomb last year and they believe to have found her skeleton. So now that they have her skeleton, they think, they're going to do a DNA test on it, and they'll be able to create a 3D reconstruction of her face, and then we'll know for sure if that is actually Lisa. Another big question is, why did Leonardo da Vinci, who was painting nobles and royals at the time, paint a picture of this ordinary woman? That is still a question, but the author of that book, Hales, has a theory that Leonardo had known Lisa because his father lived right near her at the time, and she thinks that maybe he just saw something in her that was worth painting instead of doing it for money. I mean, it's all theories, but it is really cool to know who this woman potentially was. And have you ever wondered why the painting is called the Mona Lisa? Well, it's the English title, Mona Lisa, and it comes from the subject name, Lisa, and the Italian word Mona, which is a contraction of Madonna, meaning my lady. So it means my lady Lisa. The Italian way to say it is La Gioconda, and the French way to say it is La Gioconde. My French is horrible. I probably said that way wrong. But this is how it's spelled. You try to say it. So that's why it's called the Mona Lisa. Lisa Gherardini, the subject of the Mona Lisa. Like the most famous woman ever. And she wasn't even a famous woman. So anyway, if you ever make it to Paris, you should definitely check out the Louvre and be prepared to be in a giant crowd of people if you want to see the Mona Lisa. But it is really cool and really worth it to see it in the flesh. And there are other really, really cool things at the Louvre as well. Venus de Milo is there, and Nike. So, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back in the States. Pretty much over my jet lag. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, of course. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I got all my info from Wonderopolis.com, Who is the Mona Lisa, and from thedailybeast.com, The Life of Lisa Gherardini del Giocondo. the most likely real name of Mona Lisa. Most likely. But I will leave the links to all of that in the description box below, as usual. Thanks for humoring me with my beret. I did not wear in Paris, don't worry. I love rambling at the end of my video for some reason, because I think I like rambling at the end of my videos because during my videos I'm trying to like memorize all these facts and like read them to you. I bet I fooled you. I'm not actually this smart. I do research and memorize things. I don't know if that makes me... I guess that's how you get smart. So maybe I'm just getting smart from this channel. So when I'm talking at the end, I'm just talking and not trying to like remember what I'm supposed to say. So I think that's why I like rambling so much. That's why my videos are so long, and that's probably why it takes me forever to edit them. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Au revoir! A common misconception is that paresthesia is caused by a lack of blood circulation in your foot. But this is not the case. It actually has to do with your nerves. Nerves run throughout your body and carry messages from your brain